You're literally going to repeat step 1 that you did with the face mask. You're going to do it to the outline of your gumdrop here, your gumdrop shape. So damp outlining brush or damp small brush, towel dry damp, kind of like you're getting out of the shower, and you're going to spin it around in your brown a few times. Maybe sing happy birthday to yourself. Maybe once or twice. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Happy birthday to us. Yay! That should get you enough paint. You see how it's starting to change color? This is a dry on dry technique. Your surface is dry, your brush is mostly dry, it's just a little bit damp, and you got loads of watercolor paint on your brush. I literally just tapped the tip of my brush into the water. If your brush starts getting kind of scratchy, it means you don't have enough liquid in there, but you don't want to go because then you're going to have way too much water, and that's not good either. So just a little tap like that, almost like your butterfly kissing the surface of your watercolor cup. If you want to, you could repeat this process just outside of your face mask too. You see this dark line here? Totally up to you. I'm going to show you how it looks. I'll let you know if I like it. And switch. Outline, spread. Outline, spread. Damp brush. Every single time. Damp brush. And you know what? I'm not really a fan of how light this brown is. So you know what I'm going to do? Damp brush. Lots of paint. Dot, 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 dot. Give them some polka dots. Oh, was it Madagascar? Polka dot, polka dot, polka dot. Since I'm dealing with a bigger space, I'm going to use a bigger flat. It's just going to help me move the paint around a little more easily and a little more quickly. Same rule applies. Just damp flat. You see how I'm squeezing off the extra water here? Much better, right? Whew. There we go. If I want it to get darker, I will just add another layer of paint once this first layer is dry. And that, my friend, when we layer like that, is called building. I'm being super careful around this white area. You know what? I'm going to switch out to a smaller flat so I can spread in a more controlled manner. A lot of people would say, oh, just add black in there. You don't want to add too much black into your color because the black will actually dull your color. White does that too. It kind of flattens out your color and makes it all muddy. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to strengthen my outline here because see, I'm going for the cartoony effect. You get to decide if you want to add brown or black to the face. We're literally going to use our paintbrush, kind of like what we did with our outline, and we're just going to scratch in the details in the mouth and in the nose. Just be careful to not get that white spot in your eye, because that's a highlight. Highlights don't get any color whatsoever. They're pure white. And then I would wait until this part of your painting dries before you even add that black in there. You can add the other details in the face with your brush. The next step is super easy, okay? All you literally do is repeat your outlining process with your tufts. And here you can use black, and I wouldn't even worry too much about doing that shading or anything if you don't want to, because literally they're white. So you're going to want a damp brush. You can tell my paint is kind of like a dark color now, but you know what? Since I'm not spreading or doing that shading process, I can work with this dirty water and not worry about it. It's just going to be a black line. The black will overpower the brown that's in your water. That's why we started from light to medium to dark in our colors, to prevent our colors from getting kind of murky. So when you're painting at home, just remind yourself to work from light to dark. It will save you a few trips to the bathroom when it comes to switching out your water. All right. Damp brush. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. And a few birthday songs, right? You're going to swirl it around there. You kind of want a decent amount of black on your brush. And you're literally going to outline these white spots. Dab the tip of your brush into your pupil. Make sure that when you're doing this, your paint you have more paint than water on your brush. More water means you have less control. More paint is going to make it look darker. It's going to make it not spread all over the place. And you're going to add little hints of black in the face if you really want to. Just do it sparingly. I am going to outline the inside of my tuft, so that way I can kind of separate my tuft from my face. Give it its own shape. You see how I'm outlining this brown? I'm only doing this when my brown outline is completely dry. Okay, so make sure that your outline, your brown part, brown outline part is 100% dry. Because if you're using a decently dry brush and it's only a little bit damp with a lot of paint on it, it's less likely that those colors are going to mix together, because things mix better when you have more water. So just make sure that area is completely dry and your brush does not have a lot of water on it. Instead, it should have a lot of paint on it if you want to do those outlines on the inside. Just keep that in mind. Oh, he's a cutie. He's a cutie. You might have to revisit your palette. That's okay. Whoop, way too much water. No! There we go. Whew. See, that is why you want to make sure that your brown is 100% dry, because sometimes, like your teacher, you might end up having too much water on your brush and you don't want to risk mixing or murking up your area. Mucking up your area. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word. Can't even speak today. And that, my friend, is your Marmoset. If you want to add an additional one up here, great. But I am going to take some pen now that my paint is dry. And I'm literally going to add texture. If you kind of want to add some more final details to your piece, but you want more control over said details, just use an ink pen. Emphasize those wrinkles. You could even use brown Sharpie pen, but if you use brown Sharpie pen, I highly recommend that you use one of these fine points, right? You don't want to go in there. This is extra fine. Ultra fine point. Ho ho ho! Ultra fine. Woo! Ooh, and it smells. Holy guacamole. And you can add brown lines too, so you kind of like get like a mottled texture here, or kind of, you know. It's a lot easier than doing it with a brush. So I got a mixture of black and brown in here. As you saw in the video, they kind of have black and brown in their skin. Some of them even have gray. Just make sure that your paint, see, I accidentally smudged my paint here. Just make sure your paint is dry before doing this. And you can even do it to add some detail to your tufts too if you want to, because my tufts are pretty flat, right? Let's zoom out. There we go. So I'm going to put my pen away, ultra fine point. You almost kind of want it super skinny. And I'm going to switch out for my pen. And I'm going to add those thinner lines in there that I wanted. I'm doing this because I don't have a really skinny brush, and quite frankly, my hands, I'm an old fart, so sometimes my hands shake. And I really don't want squiggly lines for my tufts. So that's how you can use mixed media to add detail to your piece or more design. For more tips and tricks, please don't